The Story of Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves. Once upon a time, there was a very poor woodsman called Ali Baba. Every day, he would have to climb up the hill into the forest to cut wood. Then, he would carry it with the help of his 2 donkeys into the city. One day, Ali Baba was loading his donkeys when he saw in the distance many men riding their galloping horses toward him. Ali Baba was frightened, so he decided to hide in the bushes and watch. The riders stopped in front of an enormous rock, and then the leader of these riders shouted,
"Open sesame!"
Suddenly, the rock moved to reveal the entrance to a cave. All the riders entered the cave. Exactly 40 riders. After a while, they all left, and the entrance closed behind them. Ali Baba decided to approach the rock and said the magic words, "Open sesame!" The rock moved, and Ali Baba entered the cave. It was filled with gold and jewels. Those men must be thieves, Ali Baba thought, and this was their hideout. Ali Baba decided to carry out with him as much gold as he could. He put the gold in some bags and loaded his donkeys with them. Then he covered the bags with wood and headed home. It was already late when he got home. "What happened?" his wife asked. "Hurry and come with me to the back to unload the donkeys." When Ali Baba's wife saw the gold, she immediately said, "We must hide this treasure." They thought about hiding it in a hole in the ground, but then they decided that what was best was to build a hidden trapdoor. So Ali Baba's wife, with her face covered, went to the city to meet with a carpenter. She told the carpenter what she wanted, but that she needed to keep her identity a secret. The carpenter agreed to do the work, so Ali Baba's wife covered his eyes and guided him home. The carpenter quickly did his work. Ali Baba's wife paid him, covered his eyes again, and took him back to the city. In the meanwhile, the thieves were back at the secret cave, where they realized that they had been robbed.
"We must find the one who did this. Tomorrow we'll search the entire city for this man,"
the thieves' leader said. The next day, the thieves asked around to see if they could find anything about who had stolen from them, but without success, until one of them went into the carpenter shop and said admiringly,
"You do beautiful work, carpenter."
To which the carpenter replied, "I do. Just yesterday I did a secret trapdoor in less than 1 hour."
"Take me to that house, and I will pay you well,"
the thief said.
"I had my eyes covered, but if you cover my eyes, I may find the house."
That night, the leader of the thieves covered the carpenter's eyes, and together they eventually reached Ali Baba's house. The thief then marked the door with a big X so that when he would return with all the thieves, he could find the house. In the morning, Ali Baba's wife saw the big X on the door. Afraid that this could be a threat, she decided to draw a big X on all the doors she could find. When the thieves came back looking for the house, they didn't know which one was the right one. They were very, very angry. That night, the captain of the thieves took the blindfolded carpenter a second time, but this time he counted the number of houses so that he would not be tricked again. The next day, the thieves' captain knocked on Ali Baba's door. He had donkeys with him, and each donkey carried a big urn.
"I'm an oil trader, and my donkeys and I have been walking for many days," the thief said. "I wonder if we could rest here for tonight."
Ali Baba was a kind man, so he agreed. The donkeys were left in the yard, and the thief, disguised as an oil trader, went up to his bedroom for the night. As it was getting dark, Ali Baba's wife began the process of lighting the lamp, but then realized that the lamp was out of oil. So she went into the yard to get some, but as she approached the two large urns, she heard voices coming from inside them. She ran to Ali Baba to tell him what had happened, and he quickly ran to call the Sultan's soldiers. Not long after, the leader of the thieves crept sneakily into the yard and whispered to his men, "It's time to come out." But at that very minute, the soldiers came rushing in. The thieves couldn't even get out of the urns, so they just fell to the ground, and all were arrested. The Sultan had been looking for them for a long time. Ali Baba and his wife told the Sultan everything they knew about the secret cave and the gold they had hidden in their home. For their honesty and for helping to arrest the thieves, they were granted a generous reward and lived happily ever after. The end.